Alright, now I'm going to make it look like I'm shooting a laser from my hand here into my chest. Okay, I'm going to start by making the laser. I'm going to get a big brush here. I'm going to make sure the hardness is set to 0. So let's see, that's pretty good, right around 500. And make it green. You don't have to make yours green, you can make it whatever color you want. And I need to make a new layer. So I do Control Shift N on the keyboard, or you can go to Layer and New Layer, and let's just call it Laser. And I'm going to double click here. Can make a nice soft green dot. And then I'm going to make my brush smaller. You know, a good laser beam size. So 86 will work. And I try and click right in that same circle. Then I hold Shift on the keyboard. And I have it go right where I want it to hit. Okay. Now, on the laser layer, that's a hard one to say. On the laser layer, I'm going to double click right on the window. This brings up the layer styles. I go to Inner Glow. I go to Source. And I'm going to turn up the size till I get a nice looking glow on the inside there. And I might do some things to the choke. Might leave the choke off there. And I'm going to change this to just pure white. There we go. Then I'm going to go to Outer Glow. And this one I can leave yellow, or I could change it to a greenish color. That would work. Can play with the size until I see something that I like. Oh, that spread doesn't help anything. Okay, and click OK. And with lasers, they emit so much energy that if you ever photograph someone, you'd get a lens flare. So that's exactly what I'm going to create. And I got to remember where my hand is in this. And I'm going to make a new layer. So Control Shift N. I'm going to call this flare for the lens flare. And I start by filling that with black. Edit, Fill, or Shift F5. And I'm going to use black. Okay. Now I'm going to go to Filter, Render, Lens Flare. And that hand is kind of right at the center. And let's see. I'll do this first type and click OK. Now I'm off by a little bit. If I use the Move tool and center it right there, that looks pretty good. And now I'm going to change that flare layer from normal to screen. Okay. Now I'm actually going to put that flare layer on top. And now that looks like it's really bright. So bright it's causing a flare in the camera. Now before I'm done here, I'm going to add a couple of shadows underneath my guys. Make a new layer. I'll call it Shadow. I'm going to get a big brush. I don't know. Maybe about... That's good. Make sure it's black. And I'm just going to click a couple of times in the middle there. Now I'm going to do Control T on the keyboard. And I shrink it down like so. And I'm just going to kind of put it underneath right where I think I might be floating. Kind of directly underneath my body there. Click the checkbox. Bring the opacity down. That works pretty good. Maybe a little bit more, 50%. And I'm going to make another one. So Control J on the keyboard. I'm going to move it up to about where I am. And let's see, it kind of spills on the table there. So I'm actually going to get out my eraser and erase some of that away. There we go. That looks pretty nice. Okay, and so you should definitely have a laser with a lens flare and then some shadows in there for the people that are flying.